Okay, hi, and welcome back to They Love. Today we will be discussing the third episode of The Falcon and Winter Soldier, the Power Broker, or, well, just Power Broker. So today I am doing something similar to what I did last week, where I don't have any notes. I just have, like, the cast list to make sure I get everyone's names right, because I just let me know in the comments, but I just like approaching these weekly reviews more as discussions and, like, breaking down what happens. So spoilers for the whole video in case you haven't watched it yet, but that's just the way I like doing these videos so far. But let me know what you think. Do you want because I think the weekly like review should be more discussion like, and then when the season ends I'll do like a more formal review, but also discuss like whatever happens at the end of the season. We're already halfway through. We only have 3 more episodes and then this is over. I can't believe it. It's moving so fast. But we'll talk about that because I feel like there's so much left on the plate, and I'm trying to remember like all the trailers we've seen of the Falcon and Winter Soldier, and I'm like, what is left for these last 3 episodes? I'm super excited. So if you are new here, my name is Destiny. I love to talk about movies and TV shows, obviously, and I'm reviewing the Falcon and Winter Soldier weekly. So let's just get straight into the Falcon and Winter Soldier. This episode, I really love the Power Broker. Well, I keep on saying the Power Broker. The episode is just called Power Broker, but tomato. But I really love this episode, and I'm just gonna go in like order of what my brain remembers. I watched it a couple times. I think it's really fascinating, and one thing I noticed when I was rewatching the episode and kind of reflecting on it is that I feel like Sam is a bit too much like Steve, but not like the last Steve we saw, but Steve from like before the events of the Winter Soldier. Isn't that crazy? Because I'm already at the end of the episode, but when he was talking about, you know, the shield and maybe it would have been a better idea if they destroyed it, I'm like, Sam, why didn't your brain jump for giving it away to destroying it when it could have just... Okay. Like, why? And it just hit me. It's like, I just feel like he's too similar to Steve, but before Steve got his like realization. I really love the Winter Soldier, like the movie Captain America: The Winter Soldier. I love that movie because it was like political thriller, spy thriller, and it talked about, just like this show is talking about, how not everything is black and white. We all live in a world of gray. So it's very fascinating to me that Sam has that mindset that Steve had before the events of that entire movie, especially since he is, Sam, he's a man of today. He was in the military, but something about him is like so naive sometimes. Like even when they visit Zemo and he let Bucky go in to see Zemo by himself, I'm like, Steve, I'm already saying Steve, but Sam, I would not do that. Why are you so trusting? Maybe you just trust Bucky, but like, come on. That was just a fascinating like little thought I had. Maybe I'm just crazy, but I think he really is too much like Steve. So I thought it was crazy that Bucky really just broke Zemo out, and now Zemo is just working with them, and oh yeah, he's rich. I'm like, they really upgraded that character so quickly. I enjoyed it, but I'm like, wow, this is really comic booky. But I was not expecting, of all things, they did a good job with these trailers, because I was not expecting that Zemo would team up with them whatsoever. But I do like that Zemo did team up with them, because again, I love how this show is exploring like all the gray zones and how they operate, if not everything is black and white. And I love that Zemo teams up with them to really illustrate that and who they have to work with to get things done, and this is a good idea. When they travel to Madripoor, when this happened, I was like, Madripoor. Oh my gosh, Madripoor! I forgot for a second. But it's like a Madripoor in the comics. I know because Wolverine visits us all the time, but it's like a fictional island. It's supposed to be like somewhere in Southeast Asia. And I think I saw in the episode, let me know if you saw it too, but there was the Princess Bar, and I'm pretty sure that's where Wolverine goes. I'm like, what if they walked into the Princess Bar and Wolverine would have been there? That would have been great. But I love Mantraport, and I love like how it looks so it made me think of like Blade Runner and like Cyberpunk and all that stuff, with the way everything was stylized and like the bounty hunters. But another fascinating thing I found about this episode is like, what is Zemo's game? I'm really trying to think of what is. He has to have an ulterior motive, because I feel like he's trying to place doubts in Sam's head about Bucky when Bucky has to pretend to be the Winter Soldier again. He says that, that wasn't too hard for him to do and everything. But at the same time, when the chaos erupts in the bar, Zemo disappears for a second, and I thought, oh my gosh, like, this is your fault. Zemo is gone. He escaped, but then he just comes back again. So Zemo, I just need to know, what is Zemo's end game? Because I know he always has an end game, and I don't trust him. I really don't. But the fact that he could have escaped several times in this episode and he did not, I need to know what his plan is. I need to know. Yeah, but Mantraport is where they find Sharon Carter, and she wasn't blipped, so she's just been operating in Mantraport for a while. She now has this great house, and she just is really jaded by life because she felt, abandoned. She wasn't helped. Like, Sam and Steve were on the run. Everyone forgot about her. I'm sorry, I forgot about her. I forgot about Sharon. If she wasn't in this show, I would have forgotten about her. I'm sorry. But I do have a theory, and I think most people have this theory. I'm really wondering if Sharon is the power broker. I'm really wondering, because she's so jaded by all this hero stuff. And she lives like in Hightown with bodyguards and art that is actually real when the fakes are in actual museums. There's just something a bit shady about Sharon. What do you guys think? I think she could be the power broker, but I don't want to do like a whole Mephisto thing with WandaVision where Mephisto didn't even show up. But if I had to have one guess, if the power broker is someone we know, I feel like it would be Sharon. Because one, I feel like they're trying to place doubt, because every time someone talks about the power broker, and everyone says he, but they also say we never met him. So how do you even know it's a man? How do you even know it's a man? After Sharon helps them out and like fights all the bounty hunters and leaves them, she gets into a car, but she gets into the back seat of the car like she's the boss. You know what I mean? So that is just my guess. I'm pretty sure a lot of people have been theorizing this, but I think Sharon could be power broker. And honestly, at this point, I don't know who else could be power broker. That would be fascinating, unless it's Zemo himself. But I don't know. But yeah, so Sharon's my first guess for power broker. But yeah, Sharon, she's jaded by the world. She can't go back to the US. She can't be with her family. I'm sorry, Sharon, but again, like I said, I really forgot about you. I really forgot about you, because like the character herself just never made a big impression in the movies. So what? Not my fault. It's the writing. And yeah, one thing I didn't like about this episode were the bounty hunters. The bounty hunters coming after them seemed more like just street level thugs that they were just sent after them, rather than actual bounty hunters. Because in movies, like movies, comic books, like when you have bounty hunters after you, like usually they're like people and you can distinguish one from another, and that's what I didn't like about the bounty hunters. And the fight sequences were just okay for me. I know Bucky got a bit of a fight sequence at the bar, but I just need more. I need more operation, like more operating of Sam and Bucky in tandem, and I need it to be longer. A long fight sequence. That's all I want. But we have 3 more episodes, so I know I'll probably get it. Sam, Bucky, and Zemo learn that when they visit the scientist Nagel, who made the super soldier serum, there's actually 20 vials. And they also learn that he, I'm pretty sure wait, who is this character? Because I'm pretty sure in the comics, his character actually was the doctor who experiments on Isaiah Bradley, but don't hold me to that. My memory. But in this iteration, he he created the super soldier serum just from having like the little vials already taken from him, so he wasn't in direct contact with Isaiah Bradley. So there's 8 super soldiers right now with the Flag Smashers. And so the fact that there's 20 vials out there, so that means there should be 12 left over. I'm like, okay, who's gonna get juiced up in this show? John Walker, Hoskins, Sam, do you want some? Zemo, do you want some? I mean, I don't know. Because, I mean, Zemo doesn't like superheroes and super soldiers and everything, but he definitely seems like the kind of person who would take this serum and then destroy it. And say, okay, I can have it, it's fine for me to have it, but no one else can have it, I don't want it out in the world. He definitely seems like the kind of person who would do that. And again, this is another time that Zemo could have gotten away, because he kills the Dr. Nagel and everything blows up. And he disappears again to, oh, by the way, put on the mask, which is great. He is a suave villain with the mask on and his collar up and everything. But I'm like, why didn't you escape? Like, I'm like, what is your end game, Zemo? I don't trust you. But after they escape from the bounty hunters and that explosion, Zemo again comes back with another car. And I love this moment between Sam and Bucky when Sam is in the back seat this time. He's like, can you put your seat up? And of course Bucky says no. And another fascinating thing is that I feel like even Hoskins is getting to a point where he's kind of not good with everything that Walker is doing, because Walker was saying like, oh, as long as we get the job done, who cares like how we do it, because they deduced that maybe Bucky and Sam like helped Zemo escape jail. And I like that the way Hoskins was even just looking at him like I feel like that's a problem in the world when people don't care about the how, they just want to get things done. It's a huge problem. And I love how it goes to the next scene showing the Flag Smashers, and man, they really make you feel so bad for Carly. And I should have known that something was going to happen, because in the earlier scene she was talking about how she would have been a teacher, a professor, and she was talking to another Flag Smasher who joined who was going to join the military but joined mob security in Matterport because it just paid better. But they're robbing the storage facility, and the storage facility has like 6 months worth of, I guess, food, supplies. And at first you're like, oh, I guess like you didn't hurt anyone, you're just getting the supplies to help people, you know, in these I guess these displacement camps and everything. So I'm like, oh, that's fine. But when they're leaving, Carly sets up a car to blow up, and it blows up the building and kills all those people in there. So okay, I thought that she would be like an anti-hero because she's doing things that, you know, are bad but not really bad. She's helping people. But that's when I'm like, wow, Carly, you're going full villain. And I'm like, I don't even think that's even gray zone anymore. I'm like, I know you stole the supplies to help people, but then you just killed them. And then you say that, oh, this is the only language they understand. And is it though? Is it? Because it's a different story if you killed them than if you just left them there tied up. So Carly, I don't know what you're doing. That was really bad. Now, my favorite part of the episode was actually the end of the episode, because Sam, Bucky, and Zemo learned that a relative of Carly has died, that someone we saw later early in the episode. So now they're going to Lavia to investigate. And Bucky, he sees I thought they were like little I don't know why my brain did not recognize it, but I thought they were like little marbles. I'm like, what are these things? I really did not recognize it at first. And Bucky sees these things, like these basic surveillance devices laying around. And he tells Sam, like, oh, okay, just hold on a second, I'm gonna go on a walk. And by the way, again, I feel like Sam is too much like early Steve. Like, he didn't even say like, okay, or why are you gonna leave me alone with Zemo? Nothing. Sam, ask questions. But Bucky, he picks up the technology that I thought were just marbles and turns around, and one of the Dora Milaje is standing there behind him asking for demanding for Zemo. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I was so at this ending, I was so shocked, because there was foreshadowing about Wakanda, and that's why Sam was arguing not to bring Zemo in, because he killed their king. But I don't know, I'm so used to the movies where sometimes things will be referenced, but they're not going to come in. You just think, oh, it's just a reference. But the fact that it was actually a foreshadowing the whole time, and I'm like, I love that. I hope that Wakanda, I hope it's not just like a little guest appearance. That is fantastic. It's fantastic. And this is the same, the actress's name is Florence Kasuba. Yeah, that's her. She was actually the one who kind of like faced down Black Widow in Civil War, and she was in Black Panther as well. But I love that. I think she was basically the first Dora Milaje that we were introduced to. So I think that's so great. And when the music came in, their theme, it was a fantastic ending. Fantastic ending. Yeah, so those are kind of like my rambling thoughts on Power Broker, the episode as a whole. I do love the writing on the show and how it's exploring, again, more of the gray zones. Like, I feel like the world is gray, but these characters are still trying to live like the world is black and white, and you can't. I feel like the only person living like it's black and white is Zemo, and maybe Sharon if she's Power Broker. And even if she's not Power Broker, even she's not living like she's in a gray zone as well. She's just trying to survive. But some of these characters, I'm like, you guys need to stop living like everything is simple. It's not simple. But yeah, like I said, I love the writing on this episode, especially because it felt like a little mini movie. This is the longest episode that we got. It was 54 minutes and like 47 minutes, not including credits. So, and it didn't feel long, but it didn't feel short to me. I feel like enough happened. Again, I really want to see where Sharon comes in later, because I do think she's the Power Broker, because I just feel like everything is pointing to her, and I feel like they're trying to make us think of someone else because they keep saying he. But like, how can you keep saying he if you never met the Power Broker or heard his voice? So that could be misdirect. It could be misdirect. So we'll see. And I really at Sam towards the end, when he was saying he wants to destroy the shield because of the symbol, I'm like, Sam, again, stop living in black and white. Why does your brain go from giving it up to now destroying it? Like, you made a whole speech. I feel like you should understand, Sam. I'm so frustrated with Sam, but I feel like you should understand, Sam, that you've made a whole speech about how symbols are made by the people who make them. Like, it's not just like, oh, that's just a shield. It was Steve's shield. It was the first Captain America's shield. It's like, why do you want to destroy this symbol? Like, why is it so hard to understand that if it's in the right hand, it would have been fine? If it was in your hands, like Steve gave to you because he trusted you, it would have been fine. I don't understand why your brain goes to, okay, maybe we should destroy it because it just means like people abuse it. I'm like, you wouldn't have abused it. Bucky wouldn't have abused it because you guys know Steve and you know what he stood for. Sam frustrates me. I really hope, again, this is a whole journey for both Sam and Bucky. But even in the last episode 2, when Bucky was like, oh yeah, let's just take it. Sam was just saying that we can't just go and attack him, beat him up, and take the shield. That's what I thought. Because you could definitely overpower him. He's not a super soldier yet. You should definitely take it now before he gets juiced up and he can actually fight against you. Maybe that's not a good idea, but that's what maybe I'm too much like Bucky. I don't know. That's what my brain thought. What do you guys think? Do you think they are gonna have the shield? We've seen the trailers. That's probably what I remember most of, like, what's left from the trailers that we haven't seen yet, is like them practicing with the shield and things like. I can't remember anything else from the trailers that like we haven't seen in the episode yet. So again, there's so much more left on the table. But what do you guys think about like Sam and Bucky and what Sam? Do you think they should actually destroy the shield? I don't think that. I don't agree. What did you think of this episode? I thought it was a fantastic episode. It makes me so excited for the last 3 episodes. Again, we're already halfway through this show, and there's also just so much more left. I'm so excited. And Man, I'm so excited to see how Wakanda factors into this. But again, let me know what you think. Comment down below, like this video, and again, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more of my reviews and more of my content in general. And I'll see you guys later.